At Service Logic, we believe the future of the skilled trades lies in training and development, and that's why we created the Edge, a platform dedicated to empowering our greatest assets, our people. From hands-on training to leadership development, Edge is where technicians grow their skills, expand their opportunities, and build lasting careers. Because when people succeed,
Okay, scratch that. We're going to jump right into the show. Thank you all for joining us so much. I was going to actually bring in a short video about the United Association Apprentice Competition. Howard and I and most of the team are actually up here in Ann Arbor, Michigan right now. And it is a crazy place. We are a little on the exhausted side. It's been a lot. But we wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about what the program is. I want to see real quick if I can bring this in as a local video. Oh, I can. So I'm gonna go ahead and upload this. I will be back. All right. So Howard and I and most of the team are up at Washtenaw Community College right now. And we've been here for most of the week. I mean, I got here on Monday. We've been back and forth. We come up here every week to support the United Association, one of the founding sponsors, Howard, of this amazing mobile studio that we've been able to put together. And they asked us that we bring it up here to help support the UA and training programs across the country. And it's a really unique experience. We're talking about 2,200 instructors from the UA across the country coming to one place to learn how to build their programs. And I already see there's quite a few of our instructors joining us. I see Kendrick out there. How's it going, my friend, up there in Chicago? I see people that are looking to build their programs, and they're looking for ways to be able to expand upon their existing programs, Howard. And this is something that's very passionate for you. You've actually done classes while we've been here talking about ways to build the program, to work with your local contractors, to be able to increase the input from your program advisory committee. And so I think today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about not just what's happening here, but what all of our schools are witnessing across the country. And so we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about HVAC excellence. We're going to talk about advisory committees. We're just going to spend a lot of time talking about ways to build a program. Yeah, Professor Silverstein's actually Yankees over in classes right now, Kendrick, but he's definitely around. Jason was doing some classes too. Renee's here with us. And Scott, this is why we do these. We get instructors like yourself all the time that's looking for ways to improve the program. I've been over to your school. I've seen that you're building this amazing program, but getting the buy-in from the community, getting the buy-in from your contractors, that's not always the easiest thing. So we want to cover some of that a little bit today. And oh, there's Professor Silverstein. He's actually joining us in there. Yes, we are very busy. It's been a lot. But it's very, very good stuff for the industry. So not just for the UA, but for schools in general. So I guess, Howard, let's just kind of start from the foundation, because we've got instructors that may be very familiar with what HVAC excellence does for the industry. They may not be familiar with everything. So let's kind of start from ground zero.
I'd like to do that. Can I also just interject
Yep.
what the UA is?
Yes, absolutely.
So we're at the United Association
Mhm.
of Apprentices and Journeymen of the United States and Canada.
Yep.
They represent 400,000 people
400,000.
and growing.
Yes,
But they also represent some of the top employers in the country.
that's right.
So a lot of people say, what is the UA? And I always joke, it's a big school with
Right.
250 training centers. Who are they training for? MCOR, Carrier Commercial, Train Commercial,
Right.
Johnson Control. So if you want to work on big, mechanical equipment. These companies actually require you to go to this school.
Right.
So the reason we're here, just like we have our National HVAC Education Conference,
Yeah.
they have their instructor training program, 2,200 instructors. They're here for 40 hours of training. They have an apprenticeship contest going on. So this is our conference on steroids.
Exactly.
So it's an amazing thing. And I guess the thing I want to say before we go into who we are, what a lot of schools need to realize is think of it like baseball. You have a favorite major league team. Maybe you like
Right.
the Yankees or the Dodgers. They're the majors. They have a triple A, a double A, and A, a farm team.
Oh, yeah. All in the same area.
And the UA is not your competitor if you're a school.
Yeah.
They're a place your students can continue their learning, which is really great because they'll say, we really appreciate the foundational skills you have. We look forward to take your training to the next level.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to get your students to a higher level,
Advanced level.
they're a great partner for you.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that we're going to discuss today is ways that you can work with the UA for your program.
Right.
And I've talked to many instructors that have looked at the UA as competition. And if it's not approached properly, I could see where that can absolutely happen. But approached properly and with the right UA, now you're setting up your students for some, if they're looking for those advanced placement style jobs.
Right.
Nothing wrong with going into residential. I spent a lot of years in residential, but if
Right.
you're looking for those advanced placements, we have that ability to build those partnerships and be that additional pipeline. So it's kind of like building that resume, but now we're doing it with a resume of training.
Right.
And we're following a lot of the HVAC excellence certifications along the way, which is one of the big benefits of doing that.
So I know you asked a question and I kind of sidetracked you
No,
there.
that's all right. It sets a
But
good foundation.
I think it really helps everyone understand where we're at and why we're here.
Yes.
So a little about HVAC excellence. HVAC excellence develops standards for the HVAC industry.
Right.
So when people say, what do you mean you're a standards organization? We develop the standards of what you should teach, a competency and task list.
You bet.
That's something people download for free.
Yeah.
We accredit HVACR educational programs, building automation and green mechanical programs. So we're an accrediting agency. We're also an agency that credentials instructors, make certain they have the knowledge to actually teach the competencies of their program.
You bet.
And then we have these industry certifications. And I'm going to explain that. They're all standalone programs. Just because you have a great teacher and you went to an accredited program doesn't mean the student has the retained knowledge necessary
did they
for
learn it
employment.
all?
That's what the employment ready certifications are.
Okay.
So a quick overview without getting into our professional development, everything we do.
Yeah.
Our mission is really, we want to improve education in the HVACR industry.
For everyone.
Right.
Right. For every level of education, whether it is, we're seeing classes in middle school that are now doing HVAC exploratory, trades exploratory. We have a ton of high school. I'm sure there's some educators, if you're not with us, I see Katie out there. She's working with middle schoolers, right? Introducing the trades at different levels. And so we have a variety of different ways to enable the instructor, whatever level they are, to see if they're teaching the right content and whether the students are learning it. Right. And the UA is the same way. They use a lot of our certifications and they accept a lot of our certifications. So there's this big win-win in there that is not always understood within the industry. All right. So as we move forward, if anybody has any questions, just let us know because we're going to cover a variety of topics. All of these topics are high on the discussion list here at ITP this week. And you've been in a lot of meetings covering most of these. That's why I wanted to have you here. I've been spending most of my time down in the judges booth, but every time I have conversations with people, I'm like, this is what class I just came from. This is the kind of topics, and everyone's struggling with a lot of these. And so it's an opportunity for us to talk about like things like trends in the workforce and how to help make these partnerships and build these program advisory committees that are going to be from a wider industry perspective than many of us have ever looked before. So let's start real quick and let's spend some time talking about workforce trends and recruitment because there's a lot happening out there that it can be a struggle sometimes to understand.
Whether we're dealing with a traditional school or here at the UA,
Mm-hmm.
today they mentioned they have 400,000. They're trying to grow to 500,000.
Sure.
But they're also looking at 40% of the skilled trades retiring in the next 10 years.
That's hard to
So
think
that's
about.
140,000 of their members.
Right.
So I don't care where you're at. If you think about 40% of the company you work for retiring, how are you going to recruit and train that many people? So that's our first big challenge. The second big challenge is you need 2.1 children per couple just to replace yourself.
Right.
Younger kids have decided they don't want to have as big a family.
Yeah.
We're only having 1.6 children per couple.
Yeah.
So with all these people retiring, there's less and less people that are going to be able to replace them.
Hmm.
So we're going to have to get really creative. How are we going to get the people into the HVAC industry?
Wow. So we need a lot of them, and now we're having to really struggle with like how do we encourage them when they've got other options. I look at my own kids. My son's 27, no kids yet. They're planning on at some point whenever they feel like they're uh, s- there. That's what they say. When we're there, we'll have kids. The younger ones, the girls that have no desire in having kids because of changes in the world,
Right.
different perspectives of the environment around them. And so there's a lot of that we have to combat. But the thing about the trades, there's so much misunderstood information about the trades. And so we're going to play a recap of a podcast that we did with the Bureau of Labor Statistics. A lot of this data that you're sharing comes from these types of analysis and reports from the industry talking about, where are we? Where are we
Well, to me,
from?
it's the numbers. So
Yeah.
I have a friend who jokes you're going to write a book no one ever wants to read because of all the numbers I like to give.
It's going to be statistics after
But
statistics.
But I think if the teachers actually listen to the numbers
Yeah.
from the Department of Labor,
Yeah.
they're telling you how to recruit the next generation.
That's exactly it. Well, so take the two girls, right? Two stepdaughters. One of them is 18, just graduated high school. The other one is 22. She's a senior in college. The senior in college, she knew she wanted to go to school. The younger one, I'm not interested. I don't want the debt. There are so many jobs out here that are good paying. I'm actually going to do apprenticeship training in high school. And so she did junior year and senior year, culinary training, right? Setting up for a career. And what we find is the statistics for the amount of jobs that are available that do not require those 4-year and higher degrees is actually kind of minimal.
Well, before we play this video, what
Mhm.
people have to look at is kids from K-12 are told they have to go to college
Right.
in most schools. I think that's a good lead in because what percentage of jobs actually require
Great
a
question.
4-year degree or
Everyone in the
higher?
audience, think about this. Think about all of the jobs in the United States. What percentage of those require a 4-year degree or higher? I'm gonna give it a little bit. Ooh, I don't have a countdown. Dang it. I would have had one programmed. All right, so think about it just for a minute. All right. Yep, absolutely V3D. There's a lot of great options out there. Okay, so we'll take a second. We'll go watch this video. We'll be right back.
What's going to surprise people is really when you start looking at typical educational requirements, the requirements are much lower than most people would expect. So if you look at bachelor's degrees, that's about a quarter of jobs are require a bachelor's degree. If you add in doctoral professional degrees, which is like your doctors and lawyers, master's degrees, that's another 5%. 30% of jobs require a bachelor's or higher.
70% do not?
That is correct.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things I get asked a lot is, Howard, I'm looking to recruit people. Where should I go recruit?
Yeah.
I go,
Where do I begin?
well, who are you looking for? They go, well, I want an 18 to 25-year-old.
Yeah.
I go, great. 18 to 25-year-olds are roughly 12% of the US population. Okay.
That's not
So,
a big pool to start with.
you've got a very small pool. What is your program doing in HVAC to recruit women into the industry? Oh, we're not. Okay, now you're down to 6. Now out of that
Oh.
6%, how many of them clean driving records, really qualify, the physics, the theories? You may get yourself down to 2%. I think it's important to understand the demographics of who's out there, expand it, because if you're trying with the number of people retiring,
Yeah.
we need to expand our pool. Should I be recruiting people under the age of 18? Maybe your company can't hire them, but they should be out there marketing the trades to them right now, like Katie does.
Absolutely.
Then you start thinking, we're in Detroit, we're in Ann Arbor, Michigan
Yeah.
right now. How many people used to work in the automotive industry? There's all these big empty factories.
Oh, wow.
You have a huge skilled labor force here. Why can't they be easily retrained to go into another trade? So it's just know the numbers. So when you're going out to a job fair, high school, wherever, help them understand what percentage of jobs require a 4-year degree. What kind of jobs do you have? How recession proof is yours? And we were just talking about that before the show.
Right.
2008, there was a big downturn in the economy. The HVAC service industry didn't die, it grew. How about during COVID? Everyone was told to stay home during COVID, okay? But instead of us staying home, out of 700 occupations that the US Department of Labor tracks, 17 were declared essential. We were one of them. Why? Well, let's take a look. And why did we grow?
Yeah.
You walk in a grocery store, people kind of forget.
That's our industry.
I'll see the network of refrigeration equipment.
Right.
They walk in a hospital, they see doctors and nurses. You and I, we see negative pressure, airborne infection isolation rooms. Everywhere we go, the industry is vastly bigger than people realize. So I would say if you're an educator or you're a contractor, take a look at your geographic area. What kind of jobs exist in it that you don't even think about? In the hospital, the oil refinery. Paint that picture of the whole industry.
I was talking to one of the instructors here that has an amazing program. They've actually doubled their program since COVID. They have about 700 apprentices. They have 30 brand new ones just for this year, first year apprentices. And so I asked him, out of that 30, what's your average age? He says, probably, if I had to say average, I'd have to say like 35 to 40 because it's like 18 to 60. And I went, 60? He said, yeah, we've got 60-year-olds that have retired that want to do something different and are coming in for training in a whole new career because they want to do something meaningful. I'm like, wow, we don't always think about that. We focus on where am I going to get the talent? And I'm focusing on those that don't currently have jobs maybe, or very underemployed, maybe not thinking about there's a lot of other potential candidates out there.
Well, it's just know the numbers. It comes back to, I can't speak for every contractor, every employer, or every school. But if you understand the demographics, it has to be a lot bigger than that 18 to 25. It probably should be more like 18 to 55 that you're recruiting.
Absolutely. All right. So we know that we're going to have to be looking at larger areas. Let's start looking at some locations, right? Let's start. Okay. We're going to open up our mind. We're going to be thinking about the possibilities for recruitment. We're going to have some funds to allow time to allow recruitment. Let's think about places that we should be focusing on.
Here, look, we have to recruit everywhere. If you're going grocery shopping, you see people are not happy with their job. You see them working hard. Maybe they're a recruit. So we should all be recruiting all the time. But I often talk about, let's just say I'm going to go to a high school and I'm going to talk to 17-year-olds.
Right.
They've already decided whether they want to be a doctor or a lawyer.
That's
they've committed to a school.
Yeah.
There's also almost 27,000 high schools in this country.
Wow.
You're going to go visit them all? No one has the time for that. There's roughly 1,000 community colleges, 8,500 trade schools. So we've got 35,000 schools to visit. No organization could do that. So I say the thing you have to look at is if you're really looking to recruit people, start at schools that already have the trades. You found the school that, Here, we're at Washtenaw Community College. They have an incredible HVAC program, right?
Absolutely.
If I was a contractor in this area,
Mhm.
I would be visiting Washtenaw Community College. If I'm the UA local, I'd be coming to Washtenaw. Why? I don't have to convince the student to come into the trade.
Right.
I have to convince them I have a better career path for them.
Yeah. They're already having some kind of an interest. All we're doing is just giving them the additional opportunity from decisions they've already made.
And I know we're going to talk a little about program advisory
Yeah.
meetings. My point is, if you're willing to work with a school,
Yeah.
you can help them grow their program, and you're going to find people at the same time
Mhm.
that are already interested in the trade. You don't have to convince them. They've invested their own time, their own money, or both.
Yeah.
So now it's just a matter of taking them to the next level.
Okay, so to get to that next level, it's going to be a community effort. It absolutely is going to have to be. We've talked to some very successful programs since we've been here. They have all said the same type of path, how they're successful. It's a combination of working with the local workforce, it's understanding the contractors in the area, it's understanding what schools are doing, even if they're just doing exploratory programs. Now, how do we start building these relationships? And so, in this episode, I know we have educators here. I'm hoping we have contractors. I can about guarantee we'll have some contractors that will be coming back later because we're going to title this something like, How do you find the talent that you need? And they'll go, I'm in. Where do I go? And they're going to go, Wow, I have to work with my school. I have to work with my local UA. Now let's begin this process and let's see how I can contribute.
There's something called a program advisory committee,
Mhm.
and it benefits both the school and the contractor. The problem with the program advisory committee,
Mhm.
many instructors, we often have talked on your show, come from the field.
Yeah.
They have no formal education, and they've been brought in, handed a set of keys and told,
Go teach.
Good luck teaching HVAC like it's a
See you at the
singular
Christmas
subject.
party.
See you at the Christmas party, and good luck with your PAC meeting.
Yeah.
So if they don't understand what a PAC meeting is, they don't really take advantage of it the way they should. Similarly, the contractors are all looking for people
Right.
and not knowing the program advisory committee is the way. Now, there are a couple things. The program advisory meeting is a way where we can improve the outcomes,
Mm.
get better students, create these partnerships.
Mhm.
So let's dive into that a little, if you don't
I
mind.
think so because this is a very important one because we hear results from a variety of different schools. Some that say they have very successful, some that say that they have coffee and donuts, and they talk about what's happening with the weather in the news and how many students do you need, and I'll try to get them somewhat prepped for you. So there's all different ranges. And so if we can help make it more uniform and consistent and give everybody the tools to be successful here, it's actually a pretty clear path.
So we'll talk what it is, but I tell you before what it is,
Mhm.
what I do when I'm invited to one.
There you go.
The slide you're showing is from Washtenaw Community College because we were coming here. I wanted to see, could I find the HVAC program easily on their website?
Oh,
Things I want to know is, first of all, how much real estate, how much time is this program?
right.
If someone says it's a 7-day program, maybe I'm not going to go visit the school. Oh, it says it's 1,200 hours or 1,400 hours. That's a lot of real estate to teach something. I might be looking at what courses they teach so I understand what topics are covered.
Right.
Maybe it'll show me what the student textbooks, curriculum, toolkit. I'm trying to find out as much information before I go
Mm-hmm.
so that when I go there, I can maximize my time. I'm also trying to make certain I may have 20, I might be in a big city and have 20 schools around me. Which ones do I want to go to?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, what if I'm the school? Let's flip this role. Here recently, I was working with one of our partners, and they asked for a media kit. They wanted to know, what am I? What are we doing as a team? What is the role that Did You Know plays? And so I put together a media kit. There's just a few pages that showed exactly what we do, like what we are all in this for. And in that, I showed a lot of these kind of things. I showed what we're teaching, why we're teaching it, where we're going, who the audience is, and just put a few pages together. And so as an instructor, I could have my own curriculum kit, even a single pager that covers these items that I can hand to a contractor and go, did you know this is what we do?
I saw a statistic, and I don't remember the exact number, but it's roughly 70% of students
Yeah,
will look at you online multiple times at a school
I believe that.
before they ever
What's
contact
your
you.
presence there?
So what the thing we ask, so Dr. James Crisp on our accreditation team,
Yeah.
he'll very often ask the school administrator, help me find your HVAC program. Sometimes it's not that easy to find.
Oh,
So
I've
in their
ran into
mind,
that
they know,
myself.
oh, it's that we have an associate in applied science. How would a student know what that is?
Right.
So ask yourself, can I easily find it? What are you showing? Can I see a list of the courses, the cost,
Mhm.
toolkit, instructor credentials? Where do your students get hired from? Are they on who's on your program
Yeah.
advisory?
Almost never
The-
see that.
right. The more information you can share,
Uh-huh.
the better you're marketing your program. So while you're thinking of handing them a brochure,
Yeah.
I'm saying that they've probably looked at your website several times
Absolutely.
before they ever asked for that brochure.
100%. They've looked in the area, went, okay, these schools have a program.
Right.
What does their presence look like?
Right.
Wow. That's a marketing perspective I should have recognized and I didn't, but I've seen it myself. I've seen websites for a school, all these happy students, and the HVAC is
One paragraph and
Yeah,
there's no information.
yeah. So it's an opportunity to talk to web development, website developers.
Right.
I mean, there's so many opportunities within that.
And if the school doesn't allow you to have control of your website,
Yeah,
you have other tools. You have social media, other ways of
absolutely you
promoting
do.
that program.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important we explain what a program advisory committee is.
Yep.
For those who are teachers, you know what it is. For those of you who aren't, let's just talk about it. And I'm going to explain what it is and we'll talk about it. I'd invite people. Program advisory meeting is an industry stakeholder meeting. So here, we're in Detroit. I would be looking, who are the manufacturers reps, the people who make the equipment?
Mhm.
Who are the wholesalers? Let's look at possible employers, residential, commercial, industrial, hospitals, grocery stores. We're going to invite them all to a meeting. They're there for several reasons. They're to help me make certain that my students have the knowledge they need on day one,
Right.
but they're also getting an idea of the talent that's coming out of here
Exactly.
and giving me feedback to give them a better workforce to recruit from. So I know you've got a slide up here, and this is one I'm very passionate about. I get emails, packed meeting Friday. What's a packed meeting?
All
I
right.
don't, why should I go? I think it's very important that every instructor, first of all, the phone doesn't weigh 1,000 pounds.
All right.
Pick it up, get to know people, call them, say, I'm having a program advisory meeting. What is that, Clifton? Oh, it's a meeting where we're going to get together and I'm explaining exactly what I'm teaching. I want you to look at my equipment, my tools, and help me make it better so you can have the workforce you need. Wow, I want to go to that.
Yeah. It's not popcorn and cheese anymore.
No.
Yeah.
So they want, so you need to have a partnership with them already.
Yeah.
So when they get this email, it's not a surprise.
Right.
So one of the things I say is be old school, be willing to call people, go out and visit them, learn a little bit about their businesses.
Yeah. Understand who you're even inviting.
Right.
You could have an open invitation, and those that are going to come are going to be looking for something specific. It's a good chance it's going to be installers, which could change the direction of your program.
Right. Well, that's why, who do you want to invite?
Exactly.
So if you look at who are the top employers in your area, that's who you really want to target first.
And in many instances, that PAC meeting is a requirement.
It is. Many accreditations require it twice a year. But when I go, I always take a different approach. I'm not there for ESCO, HVAC excellence. I'm there to help the school.
Right.
If a contractor takes that approach, they're going to be able to evaluate this program, make some recommendations. That'll improve the program. And that's going to mean there's better recruits for everyone, their company and everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, they're building the community. I mean, it is an absolute community effort. So one of the questions that I'll hear, and I don't have enough experience with, right? My training experience was with a distributor. I was working with existing talent. I was working with technicians already in the field, and I was introducing them primarily into technologies. So for me, my introduction to people was already done. I didn't have to go looking for them. They were looking for me. But as most instructors were faced with the challenge of, I know who I want to talk to. Like, how do I talk to them?
Well, here, let's take a look. If you and I took over at Washtenaw Community College,
Yeah.
we would have to get to know who's the big wholesaler in the area. Tecumseh's right down the street.
Oh,
You've
true.
got manufacturers.
Sure.
So it's starting to get, and if most of them are from the trades, they know who some of the folks are.
Okay.
They don't know who everybody is.
Mhm.
So that does take a little bit of work. Me personally, I would look to see who are the big mechanical contractors.
Mm.
Is there a UA local? Because they know who they are.
You bet.
So you start talking to your utility, they know who some of the better contractors are. It's about partnerships. Your supply house, they know who the best technicians and best contractors
That
are.
is so true.
You worked at a
They see
supply
'em
house,
every day.
you know who the best companies were that you wanted to recruit.
Yeah.
So when you're building a program advisory meeting, it's about building partnerships.
Okay. So we're going to build these partnerships. We're going to start having some communications with our community. And then how should I invite and how should I manage?
Well, and I think you've got some other slides here and I can
Mhm.
go through them, but I'll just share. We can talk real quick about how to hold a meeting because when to hold it. I get a lot of invites that say, come at noon.
Mhm.
You were a commercial contractor.
Yeah.
How convenient is it for you to come at noon?
Yeah. Never. It's like saying I'm going to take lunch at noon.
Right.
It's
And then
just-
if you're gone, you're losing work time.
Yeah.
They're asking you to take vacation
Mhm.
or they're asking you to not make money. So I always say, start by asking the industry stakeholders, what's convenient for you? Do you like me to open the school at 6 a.m.,
Have
serve
a
you
breakfast
breakfast,
beforehand.
and you could be out of here at 7:30?
It's a great
Would
one.
you rather come after work? But find a time that's conducive, not for you and your school, but to get as many people there as possible.
Sure. Because then you're going to be opening up the opportunity to speak with a lot of people in more of a comfortable place instead of them rushing in and out.
Right.
Okay.
There's many times I've turned down going to a program advisory meeting
Mhm.
because I'm looking and I'm saying, that's an hour away. I'm going to spend 2 hours there, an hour back. I've just lost, good part of my day of work.
Yeah, quite a bit for sure. Absolutely. All right.
So,
And any questions along the way, please, throw them out here. We're here for you. We're here to learn and help build this industry. And it's from events like this where we get to speak with other educators facing the same issues that we get to share this information.
so to me, the big thing is if you're going to hold a meeting, I look at several things. I'm looking at the website or the curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say you teach? Then I'm going to be looking as we go through it. What resources do you have to achieve that?
Sure.
What textbooks, training manuals, visualization, 3D programs? Then I'm going to be looking at the equipment,
Mhm.
the tools. And we're going to get into some of the questions in a minute, but really our role is that when we come there, we're industry stakeholders who are taking a look to say, are the students coming out of here with knowledge necessary for employment on day one? So do you want the first day that someone works on an R290 mini, R290 monoblock
Mhm.
to be in the customer's home or in the classroom?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you and I just had this conversation earlier. Your job, you say, is to teach the basics. Well, what are the basics? And that's what the industry stakeholders will talk about.
Mhm.
We've had a lot of questions recently. Are inverters basics?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Should I be teaching a heat pump? Why should I teach a heat pump over an air conditioning?
well, heat
Kinda
pumps
questions we're
outsell
getting.
gas furnaces nationally by 30%.
Right.
If you look at all the state and local incentives, they will, even if they're not in your area, the prominent one, they will be.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we'll get from our stakeholders. Okay. Now, this is a big one. For most of us, when we were learning to communicate with our customer, it was a one-on-one conversation that I was having with my customer, found the problem, fixed it. Those are the type of communication skills we develop best in the field.
Right.
When we move into that classroom, now we're typically teaching a class and we are projecting to the audience. So our classroom is set up for that. It's for me to speak to everyone. When we think about these types of meetings, it's not the same atmosphere, and neither should our room, the space that we're having this discussion in.
Well, first of all, if I'm not a student, it's my first time at the school,
Mm-hmm.
I may not know where the room is. So when I
how do
walk
I even
in,
get to your program?
right, when I walk
Yeah.
in the front door, I'm hoping there's a sign Or better yet, student ambassadors. Are you here for the program advisory meeting? Let me walk you in. When I get into the room, you stated it exactly. I do not want to be seated in classroom forum. I want to be able to see everyone, whether that's a circle, a rectangle, doesn't matter. We need to have a conversation like this. I'm hoping to see somewhere a table with all your textbooks, training resources.
Right. Put all your resources out.
I want to see your toolkit.
Yeah.
So if you have a toolkit, are they the brands that I recognize
Yeah,
as the
exactly.
better brands in the industry? Are they great starter tools? So it gives me now, I have an idea of what you're teaching with, what resources the students have. I want a packet in front of me. We're going to kind of go through that in a minute, but I want to know exactly, what am I buying in a student? They're the product.
Right.
So when I go buy a car, there's all these websites, all this information. There's non-comparability from school to school.
Oh, it's huge.
So how do I know what you're actually teaching?
Yeah.
So, and I'm dedicating my own time.
Yeah.
Buy me breakfast.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive. Buy some burritos, buy some coffee.
Yep. Absolutely.
Buy people some food.
Yeah. Make it worth their time to be there.
They're volunteers to help you. They expect something in return.
Yeah. Completely makes sense. Okay. Well, there's another good one, came from Todd. Todd, thanks for hanging out with us and keeping things rolling through here. What about, using things like Zoom and Teams for a PAC meeting? It's that same kind of scenario where if we're doing a remote, because we all witnessed, during the pandemic, everything went remote. It also gets back into that visualization. I need to be able to see everyone, but they need to also be able to see what I have to share. I mean, I can set up a camera in a room very much like this and show all of my assets to my members that are joining me remotely.
In a perfect world, everyone will come to your PAC meeting.
Right.
For those who can't, there's nothing wrong with them joining you online, but you need to be willing to take the time to do a video tour.
Yeah.
I need someone to show me the same, whether you're giving me a tour in person or online.
Right.
I need to see the equipment. I need to see the tools. I need to see the resources that are available.
Yeah. Makes a huge difference. So we have that opportunity if we can't have that in-person meeting. I think we covered that one. Did you want to cover that one anymore?
This is the one I'd like to go in depth with.
I would think so.
This is probably the most important slide for everybody.
Sure.
I'm the worst person you want to invite to a program advisory meeting. If a meeting is done well, they're going to answer every question here. If not, you should come asking these. How long is your program? Well, what do you mean? Is it 10 months?
Right.
Is it 1,250 hours? Is it 2 weeks, 10 days? I want to know how much real estate you have to actually teach a program. Well, it's 1,250 hours. Wow, that's a lot of time. Can you walk me through the courses? So if they're doing a good PowerPoint,
right.
Our first course is AC 101, basic electrical troubleshooting. Oh, what are they going to learn in there? Describe the structure of an atom, Ohm's law, how to use a multimeter. Tell me what you're teaching, what the student learning outcomes are. I also want to know, are they taking any industry tests like OSHA 10, OSHA 30?
Yeah, HVAC excellence, employment ready.
Right,
anything
employment ready. 608. Paint a picture so I understand what you're teaching, what they should know, if they have any industry certifications. Now I have an idea of what you're teaching them when you're going course through course.
Okay.
Once I look at that, I'm going to start asking some other questions. How many students are enrolled in the program? Oh, there's 100. Wow, that's great.
Right.
How many teachers you got involved? Oh, just me. How do you have 100 students in a lab environment with one instructor?
Yeah.
So you want to understand student to teacher ratios.
What's a good number for something like that?
If you want to teach 2,000 people online or in a lecture, that's up to you.
Right.
But we're in a lab with energized equipment. It's got to be 20 to 1 or less.
Yeah.
It's not realistic for you to be watching that many people safely.
Absolutely.
And it's a liability, not just for the students, but for the teacher.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But some of the other things I'm going to look at are, I'm going to be asking, tell me about what textbooks you use. When I'm looking at a textbook, I'm not asking people who attend a meeting to read a textbook.
Right.
But if someone just told me what they're teaching, the title of the book, the table of contents are going to tell me, do you cover those things?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to take a look. What year was it published?
Yeah. Is it current?
Oh, great. It's from 1994.
Right.
That's not current. And we run into things like that sometimes.
This is real. I mean, we're not having these discussions because they're made up and they're exaggerations. These are the things that as a company, as an industry, we witness. And so we're trying to help elevate that. I mean, that's the whole reason we're in this realm is we try to
Right.
elevate education. And we have to talk about the things that are not acceptable along the way.
Then, what now we're going to walk in the lab.
Okay.
So you just told me you have 100 students or
Yeah.
10 students or whatever. You said you're teaching the following things. You said you teach mini splits. I find one
Yeah.
mini
Where
split.
are they?
So there's one mini split for 100 students. I'm looking at the diversity of equipment. Does it cover what you say you're teaching? B, do you have enough of it to teach everybody?
Mhm.
C, I want to see different brands. I also want to see legacy technology, current and emerging.
Exactly.
You said you're teaching mini splits. Can you go unlock your tool room? Why? I need to see the flare nut
Yeah,
torque wrench.
exactly.
Do you have the tools to effectively teach it?
Sure.
When we're done and we've read what they're teaching, we look at the books, we look at the equipment, the tools. Our job is to come back and actually give them advice. I see here you have a couple courses that look older. Maybe we can update. You have some equipment that maybe could be replaced.
Mhm.
It's also an opportunity if you're a contractor. If you don't see the brands
Yeah.
of equipment, tools,
Yeah.
maybe donate it and just
I
ask for a
got one of
plaque to
those
go
and
on
just
it.
pulled it out. You want
Right.
one of them on that wall? I'm sure there's a lot of that opportunity and the local distributors as well.
But if you're an instructor, just a suggestion, label your trainers,
Mm-hmm.
put a number on them,
Ooh,
put a name of what it is, does, and where it came from. Why?
easy to line.
Clifton,
Yeah.
go work on the refrigeration
Right.
trainer. Which one,
Which one?
professor?
Yeah.
Unit 6. Or if you're the instructor and you're busy with students, anyone should be able to walk someone through the lab and say, this is a heat pump. Here's
Yeah.
what you're going to learn.
Especially if they have the manuals or the things that they need.
But the reason I bring up why you should label it where it came from,
Mm-hmm.
if all of a sudden it's labeled that it says came from this supply house or this contractor, other companies are going to say, wait a minute,
Yeah.
there's that sponsorship advertising. How do I get my name in there?
Yes.
So there's a lot of reasons to label trainers. But here's the thing, what are we really doing? They're giving us a lot of details for us to evaluate the program, give them suggestions to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
We're investing time because it helps make certain the students graduate with the knowledge they need, which also helps us, helps us as an industry, whether I hire the student or you do.
Yeah, it sets a very open conversation and it identifies everything very clean and clearly.
Right.
And sometimes it's those small things that can change the perspective of your program. If I walk into a classroom and I see a lot of nice equipment, that's great. But if I see some detail given to what these pieces of equipment are, what they're used for, it's a big deal.
Well, you and I, when we were in, we visited a few schools and we were
Yes.
noticing, we're looking at the screws. Does the equipment look like it's a showroom?
Yep.
Does it look like it's being worked on?
Right. I'm perfectly fine with stripped out cabinets because I
Right.
know that it's actually getting some
Right.
use. Yeah, no, that's a very, very good point. All right, let me skip ahead just a little bit. Oh, aside from requirements to hold an advisory meeting, what are some of the benefits that a contractor might reap by participating? That's a huge one. I think that's actually
That is in here, and I could cover that.
Yeah,
We don't
we
have to
got
do
to
this
that
in any
point.
order.
No, absolutely. These are all for
What's in it?
conversational
What's in
points.
it for me is up here. Here, skip this one, and I'll share the next one. What's in it
There
for you?
go.
So I'm going to start
Fantastic.
here. You're looking to get people into the HVAC industry.
Yeah.
And you're going from school to school, and everyone's already told you, yeah, I'm not interested in HVAC. Go to a program advisory meeting. Number one, they're already interested in the HVAC industry.
Right.
Number two, I'm going to say something very basic. You want to win the lottery, you have to buy a ticket.
Oh, heck yeah.
If you talk to teachers,
Point.
90% of the teachers will tell you, you want my students, you better be a member of my program advisory committee.
Mhm.
So I may offer someone a higher paying job, better benefits, better everything. I'm not a member of the program advisory committee. The person who is still getting that student. Why?
Wow.
I, as the instructor, need third-party verification that my program's current.
Mhm.
You took the time to help me. Who am I going to help now when they need students?
Absolutely.
So if you want to know the number one reason you want access to students, you need to be part of the program advisory.
Right.
Number two, they're already interested in the trade. You don't have to convince them.
Mhm.
You just have to show them that you have a career path for them. But there's other things you're going to find out. Maybe ask, I really like this school. Can I be a guest presenter? Ask to come in when you're doing a hands-on project. Who showed up first? How did they approach a project? Who cleaned up? What was their demeanor? These are not people in the field. You're going to find the diamond in the rough that's not even available yet.
Yeah.
You may find that student that you want to hire before they ever become available on the market.
I had a good example of that happened just recently, and I hadn't even thought about. I was talking to a distributor in my area about, they're having the same issues, right? It's about recruitment and retention. They're having the same problems that the trades overall are having. We have a lot of jobs to fill, and it was a local distributor that was working with a local high school, and specifically looking for technicians. They were looking for students that along the path were starting to realize that they didn't want to work outside. And because that happens, we've all seen that in a classroom. We've seen students that come into the program more of an exploratory. They realize, wow, this might be a little over my head. I don't know that I want to be working with electricity every day. This distributor is working with the local school, working with the instructors to say, when you get those students, would you allow me to come in and talk about working on the counter? Never thought about that before.
But it's a big industry, what we were going through
Yeah.
before. You want to work in a supply house. Take a look at how big this industry is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to work in a supermarket?
Right.
Do you want to work in a hospital? Want to work in an oil refinery? You don't think of those as the HVAC industry, but they are.
All of them are all related. So there's a lot of opportunities. So when we're looking for the members of our PAC meeting, be open-minded, be thinking about other areas within our industry that we can provide placement.
But here's another thing. If the program advisory committee does a really good job,
Mm-hmm.
they help this program become better.
Yeah,
That program is going to grow. Now there's more people available.
that's right.
So I ask a couple other questions when I go. I ask the instructors, where did you go for professional development this
Yeah.
year? Doctors always go to learn about new techniques. Auto mechanics go to learn about the new
Mm-hmm.
models. HVAC professionals need to also. I ask, how can I support you in your recruitment? Oh, you're going to a job fair? Where are you going? Can we come along? Now we're talking about, here's the school, maybe even the UA local, maybe a couple contractors.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you get a group of people, going back to there's 35,000 schools.
Right.
Can we go to all of them?
Never going to happen.
Maybe me as an instructor, I have 10 really good members of my program advisory committee.
Yeah.
They're my eyes and ears. They send people to be trained.
Right.
And I know that from day one, this person is going to work for Clifton.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, if we think about from the contractor perspective, say they've got 5 schools in their area, and that happens sometimes, and they're trying to form these relationships, but same way they're limited on time. Maybe they can't go visit every one of these 5 schools in a short period of time.
Right.
We need to be able to think of ways that the contractor can evaluate the program, but even if I'm the instructor and I want to evaluate my own program against other programs in the area to see why I'm succeeding or where I can improve myself, it always comes back to evaluations. How can we do that?
I alluded earlier to a baseball metaphor of ranking schools like you would A, double A, triple A, okay, a farm team.
Sure.
So if you're a contractor, what's the farm team in your area?
Yeah.
Ranking them. If you're a UA local, what's the farm team? Who are the triple A, double A schools?
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago at our conference, we had a bunch of manufacturers say this exactly. How do I tell a good school from a bad one? So what we're going to go through is kind of what they put together with us.
Okay.
It's subjective. Everyone can adjust it to themselves. We have a lot of contractors that use this. So when you're looking at evaluating a program, ask yourself, is it accredited?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Would you go to a doctor who didn't graduate from an accredited program? Probably not.
That's right.
I'm not saying accreditation is the only determination, but I can skip through most of these questions if they're accredited.
Okay.
If they're not accredited, and like I say, this is like, whose line is it anyway, where the points are subjective.
Right.
to,
But it gives you something to base it by.
right. But I look at instructor qualifications.
Huge.
Did this instructor actually get formal training in HVAC?
Right.
Did they go to a school or an apprenticeship program?
Right.
Or did they only learn on the job? Because if they have formal training,
Mm-hmm.
when you transition from the field to the classroom, you need to have a much deeper understanding
You bet.
the physics, the theories, let alone the fact you never went to school
Mhm.
for teaching techniques. So it's a big jump. So instructor qualifications to me are paramount. We always joke there could be a $200 million building here and a really small building with nothing in it. My only question is who's the
Who's the
teacher?
instructor?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the most important asset of any program.
Mhm.
Is the program actually recognized by someone? So by the K-12 system, the State Department of Education,
Okay.
Community College Board, is it recognized by the U.S. Department of Labor Bureau of Apprenticeship? Why? If I just open Howard School and I say I have a great school,
Mhm.
who's actually making certain that
It
I'm
is.
recognized?
Yeah. Okay.
How many hours are in the program?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? This is subjective.
Mhm.
Eugene Silverstein is watching. Will tell you if you don't have 650 to 750 hours, you don't have enough time to teach the basics. So is this a 250-hour program?
Mhm.
It's not. It's not that we don't need those schools, but
Right.
it's do they have enough hours to really accomplish what they need to?
Yeah, because from the contractor perspective, if they're looking for an installer helper, they may have already had enough
Right.
experience learning some basics. They're not going to be installing a piece of equipment.
But that's the thing. I'm not saying that's a bad number.
No,
What I'm saying
helps
is
you
understand
evaluate.
what kind of program this is.
Exactly.
Now, when you understand that,
They're an A.
I may
Nothing
be
wrong with
looking at
that.
this school for my installers, this one
Exactly.
for my entry-level service
Yeah,
techs.
you may not be able to have one school to
Right.
fit all of your positions. You may have to work with every single one of them to know what they
Exactly.
actually offer.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And real quickly, and we'll go through this, but I was in a meeting this morning with UA, MCAA, MSCA. I know TMA, too many acronyms. But what they were talking about is just they have visited some schools that we work with and they were blown away at some of these schools that are out there,
Oh,
the
yeah.
contractors. If you haven't been in, they're incredible.
Yeah.
So there's some phenomenal world-class training centers out there, and you don't know till you go.
Haven't went to them yet.
And and now that they're going around looking at some of them, they were
Mhm.
really surprised.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is the curriculum comprehensive enough? So did it really cover what they state that they're teaching? Is there industry support? So I'll give you a good example of what I mean by that. I go to a program advisory meeting and Clifton Beck's the instructor, and here's another person named Beck, another person named Beck. It's you and your son and maybe another
Right.
relative. Is there a cross section of the people there from the industry? Or is it just people who work for the school?
Yeah.
So if it's just the instructor and people who work at the school,
Mm-hmm.
there's no support for that program.
Oh, I see you. Sure. Yeah, it helps give you a better understanding how rounded things actually are from an outside perspective.
Right. And then we have a few more items on this list. If you want to jump for everyone, I'll
Yep.
just go through it real quick. Is there adequate funding? I can't ask to see what your salary is. What I want to know is, I understand your student count. How much money do you have for equipment, tools, supplies? I'm sitting calculating in my head, copper, flux, refrigerants, different things. If you have $2,000 and you have 100 students, you don't have money to run a program. So you want to understand, does the program have adequate funding?
Yeah.
And like I say, the numbers we put on here are subjective.
You bet.
What's the attrition rate? Meaning, if they have 10 students,
Mm-hmm.
how many graduate, how
Right.
many actually completed the program? 10, 9,
Mm-hmm.
2. If there's a low attrition rate, ask them what it's been over the last few years.
See if there's been a change.
Right. Maybe it was just a 1-year phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
What you're looking for is for that program where the majority of the people actually complete the program.
Exactly.
Same with getting placed in the field. I typically am going to ask them, do they have an active waiting list? How many people are in your program? Got a good friend in Colorado who just turned away 300 people from his program because so many people want to go to it. That's a great sign.
Right.
What if you have a program that's designed for 70 people and there's only 4?
Right.
So, like I say, these are subjective. I might be the new instructor. There's a new sheriff in town. I need your help to rebuild it. And the last one to me is going to be professional development. Instructors still have to learn the new learning management system, first aid, security protocols. But if they're not getting adequate professional development directly related to the new technologies they have to teach, that becomes a problem to the students.
You bet.
So to me, that's one of the most important. So like I say at the bottom, I kind of put these in A, AA, AAA.
Yeah.
So that'll help you if you're a contractor, evaluate your programs.
Yep.
Even if you find an A school, there's great potential there. Maybe they just need your help to take it to the next level.
Absolutely. A lot of great information. You're right, Matt. It is such an important decision getting into the trades and into the work that we do. We're glad that you're enjoying it. I hope you at some point consider things like becoming even an adjunct instructor, becoming a guest at a local school, having the interaction, because it's a constant growing for all of us. That's why Howard and I are here. We're both learning along the way. I have learned so many things from participating that it's made me a better technician, a better person by learning and doing things right. And I hope that all of you have gained a little bit from this. We're wrapping towards the end of the hour. So grateful that you're hanging out with us. We encourage you all to push yourselves a little bit further, dive into what resources you have available to improve your program. If you're a contractor joining us, we encourage you to start participating with your local school. And if you're looking for the continuing education, you're getting it right here. And if you need to validate that, you can go to our e-learning network, the HVACR Learning Network. You can go back to previous episodes of the live show. You can take an assessment for $2.99. You pass that assessment, you get your continuing education unit towards your continuing education. So this is not just a learning opportunity. This is an opportunity for continuing education along your path. And any topics that you need help with, let us know. Katie sent me a message. She wants to learn the difference in transformers, wants to understand electrical a little bit more. So we might have to bring in Professor Silberstein for that one, or any of our other educators that are with us that want to start sharing information. Remember, this is a community for you. We're always looking for other instructors to be able to join us and keep providing this information to our industry. And we're so thankful to have you here. We're grateful for the United Association for allowing us to come and participate in this amazing training event. And for those of you that want to spend time with us, it's getting close to the time for you to be getting all of your information together, all your travels, to be able to join us at the 2027 National HVACR Education Conference in Las Vegas. It's going to be an amazing event. It's going to be a bigger event this year. We're going to have so many things going on. And as always, thank you so much for spending your time with us this evening. And we will see you all again next week on Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC show. Bye, everybody.